Okay, so I am live. Bear with me, I'm just making a coffee while I let other people join the stream. This is not one of the official live streams. They haven't started yet. The constant proper live streams have not started yet. But bear with me, I'm going to make my coffee while some people join. If people join, and I will let you know the update on what's going to be happening in regards to our weekly streams. So bear with me. Hello to anyone that's joined, by the way. I will be back with you in a minute. Hello, mate. How are you doing? Hope you're well. Okay, got my coffee now. Hello, everyone that's joined. So as I said, I'm literally just going live quite briefly while I have my cup of coffee, just stood in my kitchen, just to let you know what's going on and what's happened so far. So we have been working out angles and things for streaming, and I think I've got it kind of how we want it. I've potentially maybe got some fold away seating for us with a tiny little workbench for us to work on. I'm just waiting for payday to purchase some like arm things, whatever they're called, like the things holders that hold like your cameras and your devices. So they're like the tripods that clip on, but they work as arms, and they've got a 360-degree turn. You can bend them sort of at different angles. So I'll have one with the webcam that will make us a bit closer, because it is quite far, and I do worry about whether you'll be able to hear properly. So that will be coming out towards us where we're sat, and then there will be a second one that will clip onto either the table or the shelving that will be behind us for a second camera. And the point of that is so you can always see us, so you can see our reactions when we're feeding, rehousing, or when we're just looking at you and talking to the camera. And then we put on the secondary camera so that you can see the animals, so that you can see the rehousing, you can see the feeding, so you can see everything without me picking it up like this and then just spinning it around and making you all dizzy and all sick. So that's the idea. Should we ever need a third camera, which is possible, at some point I will buy another one of these sort of tripod arms as well to go on the other side. So you'll have camera straight forward, you'll have a camera showing what we're doing, and on the odd occasion when it's needed, if you need a separate angle, we will have a third visual as well. That will be through Danielle's phone, but we kind of need her phone to read the comments, so that won't be on at all times, but you will have pretty much two cameras on at all times. My ideas for it all, hello everyone that's joined, by the way, I haven't read through yet. The way that we're going to look to work it is, I'll explain all this again down the line. We'll start a stream without going into the comments. So without all the hellos, without everything else, we'll start the stream as if it's a normal video, all right, as if you guys aren't necessarily watching. We will do the purpose of that video. So let's say it's a rehousing, a singular tarantula rehousing. We will do it as if it's a pre-recorded video. We're getting the angles in and so on and so forth. And once that aspect of the video is done, once the main point of the live stream is done, then we'll go to our social time. So then we'll go back, we'll read some comments, then we'll give you proper hellos, occasionally have someone else come up on the camera as well, and we will chat for a while after the main purpose is done. And the reason I want to do that is because a lot of live streams are not replayable. Nobody sits and wants to really watch you just engage with an audience when you weren't there yourself. It's at least for me, I don't find that particularly interesting. So this means if people do want to replay, they can literally just watch the point of the video. They can watch the rehouse, they can watch the feed, they can watch the creation, whatever it is. And then if they choose to, they can cut off after that point when we go into our social time. So when we start doing these streams, don't think that we're going to be rude and ignoring everyone. It's because we want the purpose of the video to come out first. And that way, if you guys watch regularly and then you can't watch one week, but you just want to see the point of the video, you can click on the replay of that one and enjoy that part of the video, and then engage with us another time. So that's the idea behind it. So it's just a few more purchases to get. Then we've got to set up how we want the lighting. The angle of the lighting is the next kind of big thing. I'm sick of multiple tripods. We haven't got a particularly large room to film from, so I want to find a way of at least temporarily bodge fixing my lighting to something. So it's just a case of either swapping a battery or plugging in a cable to put the lighting on. Because on my Wednesdays, for example, I tend to wake up reasonably late because I work a late shift the night before, and then it's dealing with a baby, with a toddler, sorting out everyone's lunch and so on when I get up, tidying the house up a bit. Then I go and pick up my eldest daughter. I have her around for tea, and then it's basically waiting for everyone else to go to bed then before I can start streaming, which means I want as little to have to set up weekly as possible. So these are the ideas that's happening so far. So I just didn't want you to think that I've forgotten about it or I'm sat doing nothing. I am legitimately working on a way to make the streaming possible and good weekly without having too much pressure put on me. There are some things that I did actually want to show you guys via a stream or a video that are getting a bit too late. Like I've got, I'll just tell you, I've got like things like Uricantha horrida that desperately need a rehouse. I did originally want to film that. I don't have time. I then thought I'd save it for a stream, but honestly, these guys desperately need their new house, so I may have to do that off the camera and just do a feature of them in the future. It's quite frustrating because I want to do my maintenance on the streams, but I haven't got things set up to do that yet, and some are kind of like emergency necessities, and the animals come first. So there are going to be some cool things I want to show you guys you'll actually miss out on, but as I said, I can show them off in a live and feature them again down the line. I've actually quite frustrated because the horrida tank that I've set up is an old tank of mine, but it's much more suitable to them, and there's a small spider living in there, a little false widow living in there. I can't get the bugger out, so every time I open the doors it runs up into a corner and there's a little break in the plastic and it hides in there every time I try and get it out. Every time. It's absolutely frustrating. I've given it about 6 attempts today already and have completely failed. So that's something else I've got to continue to work on, getting that bloody spider out, because if these guys have nymphs, the nymphs are going to get caught in the web. The spider's actually going to eat the nymphs. It's not big enough to tackle an adult specimen, nowhere near, but I don't want them stressing out getting caught in the webs either. So it's a little bit infuriating. So I'm just going to have a quick read back on your comments a second. So I just want to say hello to everyone that joined, and thank you so much for coming in. Definitely need Danielle's phone because you're half blind. She knows me so well. 70% blind. I like rewatching lives when shit goes wrong. Yeah, well, that's the good thing about doing the lives as well, is because stuff is going to go wrong. You know, in a normal video, a lot of people will edit those bits out unless they're like comical, like naturally comical for you guys. We tend to cut them out. But when it goes wrong, and we might not find it funny, you certainly probably would find it funny. So it's going to be interesting. Sam got beard gains. Yeah, I have to keep it a bit shorter. I haven't shaved for a while. I need to trim it down for my work. Just watching through old stuff. Thank you very much. Right, so I'm trying to skip along. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys popping on, especially for such like short streams like this, just ones where they're just information. Like, you'll probably know by the titles of them that it's not going to be a fun, exciting video, and you're still hopping on, so I'm really grateful for that. Leave the doors open for a while. Yeah, I was considering that. But with the toddler around, if he sees the doors open, he's got a thing about things being open. He will slam them shut and they're glass, so I've got to be really, really careful. Darcy, hello, you haven't missed anything. I was just explaining that I am working on the setup for streaming weekly. We worked out pretty much the position of cameras, and where and how we're going to be seated. It's just lighting to figure out next, and a few more expenses. Once those expenses are done, when I've had payday, I should be able to do these streams. And I'm going to make a complete guesstimate here to say give me 3 weeks, because there'll be an additional payday in that time for me, and it'll give me time to sort things out. So in my rough guess, we can start doing the weekly streams, proper streams, in about 3 weeks. Should that fail, I'll do little ones where I just catch up with you guys once a week on here, just so you know I haven't disappeared, and let you know what's going on. Put toddler in enclosure. Yeah. Oh, I've just lost my comments. Where are they? Going to the gym. Ugh, gyms. Yeah, Jeremy, that's right, and that's one reason as well that I'm doing it, is because I can engage with people. I find it odd now, especially when attending shows and things, of being approached again. I don't know if that's because we had those like couple of years of COVID, or what. But where I lost the original channel and have a much fewer following on this one, I didn't expect really anyone to come and say hello at these shows, and people have been. And I don't mean you guys that I know so well, like other YouTubers or long-term friends. I mean like people I don't even know, and to still get that is actually really, really nice. So what was I saying about nymphs? I've been culturing Uricantha horrida, which has only been in the UK since last year, I believe. First time they entered the UK, and Europe was either the start of last year or the part of the year before. I can't quite remember, but in the hobby, they haven't even been in the hobby for a couple of years. And they came to Europe first, then they came to the UK. In a batch of, I can't remember how many eggs now, a few hundred eggs were brought across from Europe to the UK legally, and distributed. And I was lucky to be one of the first handfuls of people to get that in the UK. And I also think I was probably within the first maybe 10 to have an adult specimen, because I raised mine from over. I went from over all the way to adulthood. So I'm really chuffed with that. So they'll be common as muck in a couple of years, because they're supposedly really easy breeders. And seeing from hatch rate to adult, they have been easy. I recently have had 2 deaths that I've got to deal with at the minute, which is why I need to give them an enclosure change. Males are very defensive and they're very territorial, and they're protective of their females. So you're supposed to kind of separate the males. So you still have a male in there with your females, or a couple of males, but you make sure there's more females than males, and the rest of the males are kept separately. But I didn't witness any fighting, so I left mine, which was a mistake. Should have listened, because now I've got 2 that have gone. But I've definitely got an adult female in there, and I'm pretty sure she's gravid. So that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Phasmid's hard to get in the States. Yeah, they are. I have heard that. I've heard it's really, really difficult. And all else I was saying about the nymphs, Darcy, was the fact that there's a false widow living in the tank that I want to put them in. And although it won't affect the adults much, etc., a bit of stress from the web, if they have babies that hatch within the enclosure, that spider will be able to eat those babies. And I can't get the bloody thing out because it's hidden in a crack in the plastic by the lid. So very frustrating, very, very frustrating, because I wanted to actually sort that out either this evening or tomorrow. Annoying. But yeah, that's pretty much all my actual update is to let you guys know that I am still continuing, that I am working this out, and my guess is in about 3 weeks' time it will be an official thing. We will continue to improve, but we don't expect to come in with like full professionalism as a stream. We want to learn. I don't actually do that many streams, so it's kind of new to me. So we want to kind of learn as we go, so they will hopefully improve over time. And the best bit will be behind us, where we've got cubed shelving, that's a like 2-3 year long project of filling that all with 30 centimetre by 30 centimetre enclosures, having them all as nice display enclosures, and they're not going to be rushed. I'm deliberately not rushing it, so only the very best, in my eyes, my favourite tarantulas will go into those. My favourite other inverts will go into those. They are literally my display animals and my absolute faves, and the ones that I'm most proud of, that are going to be going in these enclosures, including ones that have not even grown up yet. So we're going to be waiting a long time for some of those slots to fill. But I thought it would be nice to then go back to some of the old streams from when we first start to, in a couple of years' time, if the streams continue and they work, to see more enclosures keep filling up those cubes behind me, or behind me and Danielle will both be there, and then having the lighting put in and having them lit up. And I just think it'll be really, really cool. And also the good thing about streaming with some of these rehouses, especially if they're going into these special enclosures, is that you guys can help with things like naming the animal, with designs. You know, we can talk about an enclosure design weeks before I actually do the stream where I create that design. So there's loads and loads of things that we can do that I just wouldn't get in the comments. So it'll be a lot more engaging, and I'm quite excited about that. Right, where am I? I've completely lost my comments again. 8 types of sticks. That's awesome. I am proud. You've got more types than I've got culturing at the minute, because I had to dye mine right back. I'm going to build a few up again, but due to space, and obviously they take quite a bit of space, I'm only culturing ones that I've never done before, or ones I'm super excited about. The only ones I'm keeping that I have kept before was my Ectatosoma tiaratum, because they were the first insect to get me interested in all inverts, so they are my core animal. So I keep those, and I keep a couple of other species, but there is a project that's not my project, it's someone else's, that will involve some of my stick insects in the future. I'm not really allowed to talk about it at the minute, so I will have to build them back up a little bit again for the next year or so. But again, I'm only getting species that either I've never kept before, or I've failed cultures before, or anything to help me learn, basically. So, as Greg said here, I had my first egg sac hatch out for this year. Congratulations. I just got to get them to sling so I can give them to people and maybe sell some. Yeah, make sure you do sell some, because I've given away a lot of things, and I know you've given away things, and lots of people have given away things, and it's lovely. It really is lovely. But when you give too much away, people, apart from people you know really well, people can't always be trusted, sadly, with free things. And I've learnt that if somebody can get something for free, they want it because it's free. So their interest in keeping it alive or giving it the correct care is always lessened, and that always concerns me. So when I give stuff for free now, I make sure it's to people like yourself and like some of the others in this chat that I know really well, who definitely deserve to have them and will do their best of their ability for that animal. The personality experience always tune in. Very grateful for you, friend. Thank you very much. That really cheered me up. I'm not sure if I already answered. So I've got Uricantha horrida, Ectatosoma tiaratum, and Coram Browse. I've got something else sat at my mum's. It might come back to me, but I'm only keeping three or four species at the moment, and I'm going to lower that down to 2. Once that's lowered back down to 2, which will be the Ectatosoma tiaratum and the Uricantha horrida, once everything else has moved on, I will then start to get a couple more species again. Hello, thanks for popping on. Right, I've got to kind of skip down this now, guys, because I've got to catch up with the comments, and I've also got a few things I need to be getting on with. So has anyone else got any more questions in regards to the stream or anything before I let you guys go? Here's one thing you can ask for me. What kind of things would you like to see? Even if you don't think they're possible. If you were to watch a live stream on an invertebrate-based YouTube channel, what interests you the most? So we've already said we will be doing rehousings, we will be doing designs of enclosures, we will be doing species-specific videos, we will be doing feeding videos, unboxing videos on live streams would be good. It'd be a little bit harder because I obviously will have to have them arrive on the day I do the stream. Alternatively, if the animals are still okay potted up for an additional day, I can just check on them and leave them for the stream, or I can put them into other tubs so that you can see them before they're rehoused. I don't know yet. Unboxing is going to be something that's a little bit more tricky when it comes to being on set time streams. Blame me all you want, that's what I'm here for. Right, what's Jeremy said? Sorry, I've got really awful eyesight reading this off a phone. The text is so small. I think in-depth discussions in groups or inverts, on groups of inverts would be great. Like interview style focusing on says species. Yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool. And as I said, I also want to bring people up on the streams as well, because there's people out there that know a lot more about certain specifics than I do, and I love to chat about it to learn. So where you've really got into your true spiders, for example, Jeremy, your knowledge on that is going to be vast compared to mine. I've kept a few in the past. I did a few huntsmen, like when I did my huntsman series. Most of them were male, unfortunately, passed away. There was a couple that were female. None of them came into me gravid, which was unfortunate. Some of them lasted quite a while, the female ones. But yeah, eventually they were all gone. I don't own any anymore. And I'll tell you what, my favourite huntsman that I ever had, in fact, was my random one, where they do the random selection, like the unknown species. I can't remember what I figured it out to be in the end. I think I showed it in Fatal Fangs 3 on my second clip. Had a little blue hue to it, and it was an amazing, small but an amazing spider. Absolutely loved it. And I'd like to get one of the random ones again at some point. So I see people have brought up C's and things like that here. So Bobby says get some glasses. So who's going to? I'm not going to be at C's, but who here will be attending the Taunton show? So the Southwestern show in February, because I have that booked off work. My main actual goals for that one, I will try and do a little live stream video about it, but I will tell you now, currently my goals are literally dry goods for that show. Cork barks, mosses, enclosures, and bits and bobs to prepare me for the BTS. So I will be doing Taunton Southwestern show in February. I will be selling at BTS in May. So I'll actually have a table at BTS. I've already paid for my table. Don't know how it works from here. I don't know if I receive something in the post or an email or what, but I have paid for my table for BTS. And then I'll be doing Western show in wherever that's June or July sometime. I can't remember which month that's in now. They're the only three that I'll be attending in 2023. Very small, very, very small chance that if I happen to have spare holiday near the end of the year, I might be able to jump on one of the ones near the end, but it's unlikely. It's really unlikely. So be interested to see if any of you are coming to those. Love to come down to Taunton, but it's southern. Yeah, it's Greg will be at Taunton. That'll be cool. I've missed things here. Not looking like there'll be a Fatal Fangs 4. I still get messages from Amy actually about that, saying, don't think I'm letting you down. I just can't still at the minute. She has even offered me to pass it on to elsewhere if I want to, and I told her no. So there, I was also considering at some point doing a side tournament to Fatal Fangs. So we had a lot of debates with Fatal Fangs 4 on introducing other species than spiders. Some loved the idea, some hated the idea. So I did actually speak to Amy a few months back about continuing on with it being tarantula and true spider based for Fatal Fangs, going up in the numbers, so 4, 5, 6, whatever. And I will take on, at some point when I've got the spare time, a side tournament, which is still Fatal Fangs based, but it will be all predatory inverts, all predatory. So whether it's predatory katydids, even centipedes, scorpions, whatever, predatory beetles, and it will literally be anything predatory whatsoever as a side tournament to Fatal Fangs. You can even see it as a warm-up or whatever, but that is something that's maybe under the works, but I just need a bit more time first. Baby has just started, and I don't want to jinx this, she's just started sleeping through the night. Still gets up very early, goes to bed reasonably late for our last feed, but she does starting to sleep through the night. So if that carries on, I'll have a little bit more energy to put into content and things. So I'm just reading the comments, folks. I'm just trying to cut it down a little bit. Starting shop up soon. Cool. Where are we at? You're too old for babies, mate. Yeah, I am. I am. My eldest is 12, and then I've got the youngest is, what month are we in? Yeah, so she'll be 5 months. Was it 6 months coming? Hang on, what month are we even in? We're in January, aren't we? So she was born. Yeah, so this month she's 5 months. Next month she'll be 6 months. I'm a man. We're not good at remembering these dates and ages of people. She just said that she'll be up all night now. Yeah, she probably will. If it's not one child, it's the other child. And then by the time they're both old enough to be sleeping through, I'll probably have the eldest be drinking in the local parks, and I'll have to go pick her up swashed, as teenagers do. Not that I approve of that kind of thing, by the way. I would be having serious words, but you know, in those few years' time, oh. Okay, cool. Well, we've actually been live for about half an hour nearly in this kitchen, so I'm going to wrap it up in a second. Yes, I hope you guys will enjoy those live streams, and also if anyone does want to pop up on screen on some of those live streams, we will talk about that. I got absolutely no problem having people come up on the screen as well during our social time of those streams, just not during or in fact, actually, during the main part of the videos, where I'm either rehousing, feeding, or whatever, I may have specific people up if they're linked to what we're dealing with. So let's say, for example, I took on maybe a spider that, I don't know, let's say a true spider that Jeremy's bred that I've got no experience in keeping, and I want to do a video based on a breeding of them or something. I could bring him up on the screen while I'm doing it, because that links. Or if it's a certain species that maybe Greg knows, I could bring him up and he can have, so I kind of can be guided and having those conversations, and other people at home can learn from the conversations that I'm actually having. But most of the time it will be bringing people up in the social part of the live streams. Sorry, freaked me out. I thought there was somebody at my window. It's a cat. You want to see the cat? It's not my cat, by the way. Hi, kitty cat. Say hello. So I've only just read that. Yeah, I don't. Well, you know, she's a good kid, but once they get to that bit older, and another like 4 or 5 years, she's probably going to be a pain in the bum. Right, where are we at? Yeah, that'll be fine, Greg. That's no problem. Neighborhood Panther, yeah. I don't know where that cat lives, but we're surrounded by council flats. So there's people that live several floors above us. And then if I were to look over the road, there's another block. If I were to turn to my right, there's also ones to the side of us, and there's also another block down there. And then you go further down, there is another block. Basically, we're in the scabby part of Plymouth, the part where the big council estates where you've just got hundreds of poor families basically living. And I'm not saying that in a pity way, it's true. Half these people are lovely people, the other half of these people are criminals. So that's the area that I'm stuck living in, and I don't know whose cat that actually is. It's staring right into my soul right now. I mean, it must be pretty well fed because it's quite chunky. It's always in our garden or yard, front yard. Your son is 34. I'm 34. You know, everyone talking about their kids. Or your adult kids. I wish mine were adult kids. I'm too old now. I'm struggling. Oh, look who it is. Hi, Jade. You've actually come on just as I don't know if you were here before, if I've missed you. But I'm going to be ending the stream in just a moment. We're just having a bit of a chat now. My day, though, has been okay. Okay, not bad. Tidied up, well, half tidied up the house. Did a lot of washing. Unfortunately, the 3-year-old was sick everywhere. Not last night, but the night before. So that's caused a lot of washing to be done. All you people with your adult kids. Apart from Jade. Jade can't have an adult kid. She's not old enough to have an adult kid. Right, guys, I am going to end it there. Thank you very much for joining. Oh, you missed it. It sounds dreadful. You haven't really missed a lot. It was just a quick update. It was just basically very, very short. I was talking about how I'm going to be setting up equipment to do weekly streams instead of standard videos, because I can't keep up with standard videos with a toddler, a baby, and an almost teenager. It's become too much of a struggle. So I was just updating people to let them know that I'm still going to be doing this. I'm still going to be doing these weekly streams. I just have a few more bits of equipment to buy, and that's literally it. So yeah, I hope you can grab my stream. So thank you very much. Thank you all, each and every one of you, for popping on and just giving me someone to chat to. You know, I do these lives without them being planned, without them being set on YouTube, without them being posted all over social media, and I still get a bunch of you come along. So even though it's out of the blue and you'd only join if you got the notification right then and there and you happen to be free, and you still join, so that really does mean a lot to me. So I'm going to shoot off now. For those of you that will be attending the Taunton show next month, I will see you there. And yeah, have a good evening. I'll try and pop on next week and give you a further update. Maybe one of these bits of equipment would have arrived and I can show you how I plan on putting it up or something like that, if I've got the time. So yes, Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good evening. Take care. Bye-bye.